Chancellor of the Exchequer Jeremy Hunt gave his autumn statement today, so let's have a quick overview of that. Richard Winstone with over 50s money.
Welcome to Over 50s Money.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so I think you're right.
You will be able to revolutionise your finances.
Hi everyone, I'm Richard Winstone with Over 50s Money. Please don't forget to subscribe to the Over 50s Money YouTube channel if you want to see more of these updates, and I'll post on the energy industry, things that are happening with our taxes, national insurance and government announcements. Subscribe to Over 50s Money YouTube channel, turn on notifications so you get notified as soon as they're posted. Thank you. So today Jeremy Hunt gave his autumn statement. I'm sure most of you have already seen news notifications on the big key highlights, but for those that haven't, I figured I'd just do a quick run through, give some of my thoughts and opinions on it. Anything I do say in here that's an opinion is mine and not Over 50s Money's. It's mine personally, and I'm not trying to sway anyone one way or another. This is just a platform where I can say what I think about certain things. People are welcome to have different opinions. As long as you say them in a respectful way, I'm happy to engage in those conversations. So feel free to leave comments in the area below. So the big one, the biggest announcement, is a 2% reduction in national insurance contributions, which will impact 27 million employees across the UK. And that takes effect from the 6th of January. So at the moment, our national insurance contributions are 12% on earnings between 12,570 and 50,270. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on that, but those are roughly the right numbers. So a 2% reduction. The example given by Jeremy Hunt in his statement today was that if a person is on £35,000, then this reduction will benefit them to the tune of £450 per year, which is, it's money in your pocket, which is a good thing. Labour, Shadow Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rachel Reeves, pointed out in her speech afterwards that they've done nothing to curb interest rates impacting mortgages, and that for the average homeowner, mortgages will be going up at renewal by about £220 per month. So my mindset, obviously, the national insurance contribution thing is great, but if your mortgage payments are going up £220 per month and you're £450 a year better off national insurance-wise, you're still a lot worse off. So I'm not entirely sure a lot's been done to help homeowners, nor renters, because obviously they'll be impacted by this as well. If mortgages go up, rents have to go up to cover those extra mortgage costs. And we've seen the impact of the rental crisis that we're in at the moment. People's bills are a little bit out of control at the moment. And I'm not sure the announcements made today by Jeremy Hunt go far enough to reverse that. Obviously, there are a lot of positives in there. They are trying to help people as much as possible. It's nice that these were changes to reduce most taxes or freeze some. There are a few nothing statements in there, so I'll give you a couple of the nothing statements that he seemed to be quite proud of, but I consider them just nothing. So they've frozen alcohol duty until August next year, which is a nothing statement. It means for 10 months they're not going to do anything. Okay, that doesn't help make alcohol cheaper for people. It doesn't make pubs more profitable. It just means they're not going to be less profitable. He's basically just said we're not increasing it. And, if he listed everything he's not increasing, he would have been there all day. So it's just one thing that sounded like a big deal but isn't really. The other one, which, again, he seemed very proud of, and again, he shouldn't be, was that they're not breaking the pension triple lock this year. That's a good thing, obviously. I'm happy to hear that. So next April, people on the state pension, or new state pension, will see their pensions rise by 8.7%. That's fantastic. It should mean a new weekly income of £221, which is good. I'm glad that's happening. But effectively, he's proud that they're not breaking the rules this year. The pension triple lock exists to protect pensioners. And last year they did, he's not breaking it next year. This year they did break it and didn't give... They didn't stand by the triple lock. So yeah, again, it's doing the bare minimum. The pension triple lock has existed for years, and he's just saying that they're not breaking it in April next year, which is good. It's good, but it's not like he's given anything away. It's not like he's increasing pension or helping pensioners further. He's pretty much just said, we're going to do what we said we're going to do. Good for you. Yeah, overall, like as I said, my feelings towards this announcement weren't super positive. I am happy that national insurance is coming down by 2%. It's not going to help people massively. There was nothing on there about helping people with their energy bills, which we're all aware are skyrocketing, and they're going to go up again in January. There's going to be an announcement tomorrow from Ofgem, and all predictions and expectations are that they're going to go up. I'm assuming Ofgem have already told energy suppliers this, because my partner received an email today telling her that British Gas telling her that Ofgem are going to increase the price cap tomorrow. So I'm pretty confident I'm allowed to say it's going up tomorrow. At least they're announcing the increase tomorrow. It will go up from the 1st of January. And there was no extra support in the autumn statement for people with their energy bills over this winter. No mention of social tariffs, no mention of their stance on standing charges, which is, highly contentious at the moment. Ofgem are doing a review on that. And if you've been following my videos, you'll know all about that at the moment. Yeah, a lot of what he announced is great for businesses. So he announced positive tax movements for large businesses, SMEs, and self-employed. So if you are self-employed, you'll be really interested to hear that they are abolishing Class 2 national insurance contributions, and they are reducing Class 4 national contributions from 9% to 8%. So that should help self-employed people to the tune of a few £100 per year, probably roughly the same amount as what everyone else is being benefited with the 2% reduction on PAYE national insurance, so about £450 a year. But yeah, a lot of the bigger changes that he put in place in today's statement feels like trickle-down economics, help businesses get more investment, get more money, more profit, and those businesses will invest that money, get more people employed, and then more people have more money, and there's more money there for pay rises and things like that, which all sounds great on paper, and in theory, I agree those things should work in theory. I don't agree they will work in theory. I'm not sure trickle-down economics has ever really worked. The likelihood is shareholders will want to keep the extra profits for dividends. That's, management bonuses, things like that. It rarely trickles down all the way down. So not sure I see those things as positive. He announced a couple of things on benefits as well. So people of working age on benefits will see a 6.7% increase in their benefits from April next year. And they're going to take a new stance on trying to move the unemployed into work. People that are able to work but currently don't. They're going to invest, I think it was £1.3 billion in providing additional support. What they're going to do is, over 18 months, they'll provide additional support to those looking for work to give them extra skills and training and help them find work. If after 18 months you haven't found work, then there will be a mandatory 6-month work placement that they'll put you on. If you want to keep receiving your benefits, they'll put you on that mandatory 6-month placement. If you don't do the placement, then they will remove your benefits. And I'm not sure what happens at the end if you get to the end of the 6-month work placement and still haven't found a full-time job. Either they remove your benefits or they keep you on work placements until you do find a job. But I think it's mandatory minimum 6 months work placement. So, it's rather than having people that are able to work but not willing to look for work and just live off the benefit system for decades, they're trying to force those people into actually working and coming off of the benefit system. Their predictions are that they'll move 700,000 people from being unemployed to employed, which I think is good for the economy, it's good for the country. And obviously, if the benefit system is being used less, then less taxes are needed, and the rest of us can benefit from hopefully lower taxes in the future. So I think that's pretty positive. There's a lot more in there that he's said. I'm just giving you some key highlights. He did mention that there's 110 changes they're putting into place. So he didn't want to run through all of those, obviously, and he just gave some highlights, and I'm giving you the highlights of his highlights. As I said, these are all mentioned everywhere online, and I've downloaded the official document from the government page, so I'm going to try and do a full review of that document and put it into an article and summarise it into probably categories, but that will be at the back end of, it won't even be at the back end of this week, that'll be next week now. So that's pretty much all of the updates I wanted to give you on it. My personal feelings towards it are that I'm probably leaning more towards Labour for the next election. Again, this is just my own personal opinion. I do think we're in and we factually are in one of the worst financial positions as a country that we've been in for decades. We've got the highest taxes we've had since pre-war, so that's 70, 80 years. Yeah, I don't think that the Conservatives have led us into a positive state, and 13 years after coming into power, they appear to be a bit of a shambles with what we've had, 5 prime ministers, 7 ex-chancellors, dozens of other people are moving office all of the time. It's always being shuffled about over the last 2-3 years, and it doesn't invoke confidence, nor does it invoke any belief that there's any backbone behind the statements today. The amount of announcements and statements they've made over the last 2 years that they've then reversed. There was the 1.25% national insurance levy last April that was gone by November. We had a prime minister come in like August, September, and she was gone a month later. The lettuce lasted longer. You can't really take them for their word at this point. And that doesn't, I'm not trying to attack the people individually, but the party itself doesn't seem to be on a good foundation. And we need some stability as a country. We need some politicians to come in and stay in a role for a couple of years and sort it out and be held accountable. The problem here is that any problems that occurred because of Conservative decisions a year or two ago, the current members of Parliament can just bash away and say, well, that wasn't me, that was my predecessor. I haven't said that, I didn't do that, I wouldn't have done that, that was obviously a mistake. And there's no accountability. But those decisions that were made have led us to where we are today. So yeah, my personal opinion is I'm probably going to go for Labour because I think we need a bit more stability. I'm hoping to get in a new party that is fresh, ready to go, not confused about who they are, not got a lot of internal fighting, at least not as much as the Conservatives. There is something to be said about looking at other parties as well, but my mindset at the moment is to just look at the 2 main parties, 2 main opposition parties, if you will. Always happy to discuss politics with people as well, by the way. So please do leave comments below or email me and we'll have a conversation. I love hearing other people's opinions because there's so much information out there in history that no one person knows everything. And it's always nice to hear from others and to learn more. So please do feel free to engage in these conversations with your points on one party or another or any party that runs in the UK at the moment. So just so you're all aware, tomorrow there is the Ofgem price cap announcement, as I said earlier in this video. The expectation is that the price cap will go up, which will come into play from the 1st of January. And I believe the current predictions is that it will go up again in April by a small amount, which is obviously frustrating, but it is what it is. Energy is just such a minefield at the moment. We're working hard on the consultations and a lot of you are engaging in these consultations, which is really helpful. But it kind of feels like banging our head against a brick wall. I don't think we've won one decision yet. Ofgem haven't gone our way for any decisions, which is disappointing. But our options are give up or keep working. And so I don't see option 1 as a real possibility. So we've just got to keep working. Got to keep chiseling away at Ofgem until eventually they see reason, and I do believe in a few years' time there'll be investigations into how Ofgem handled the COVID crisis and the energy crisis, and people will look back at the decisions that were made. Reviews will be taken, judgments will be passed. A lot of people will say they did the wrong things for reason X, Y, and Z, and we can be sat there saying, "I told you so." It doesn't help us right now, but that's what I believe will happen in a few years' time. Right now, we just got to keep telling them so and try to get them to change their minds. I'm looking to engage more with the consumer groups and charities that attend the monthly calls with us. Hopefully, if we can work together, then we're more likely to persuade Ofgem to change their minds on things. I believe there's already a group thing that goes on with them, and I'm looking to start participating in that so we can work together to try and sway Ofgem to make things a bit better for consumers. That's all of my updates and announcements for today. As I said, feel free to leave comments below and I'll try and get back to you all on any points you raise. There's also a document on this, by the way, sorry, in the description below. I wrote up a summary as well. It's very brief, just to give you a quick overview on some of the announcements, which is pretty much just covers what I've said in this video, maybe 1 or 2 extra points. But yeah, feel free to give that a look. And I'll be back this time tomorrow, probably earlier tomorrow, with a video on the Ofgem update. Thank you.